Yo, welcome to the podcast.
We're back again. I'm so excited to be back.
Back at it again at the Krispy Kreme, as that old Vine went.
Is that the one?
Yes.
Krispy Kreme.
Were you not into Vine when it was in its prominence?
I was, but I feel like there were pockets of culture around Vine, you know? It was like you fell into your little area. I'm trying to think what I was into when I was watching Vine. I wasn't that into Vine. I'm just pretending. I want to fit in with the cool kids that were Viners, you know?
The thing is, I feel like Vine actually had its moment of, its peak after the platform died and people started to actually, accumulate the good Vines, of which there were actually very few, and put them into 10, 20-minute compilations. And then people were like, oh, Vine was great. And they were forgetting all the extended videos of people just making noodles and stuff.
That's so true. I feel like Vine, it's one of those things where it was like, it had that air of just it got really cool after it was gone. So it was like, oh, you had to be there.
That's right.
You weren't on Vine. Oh, yeah, you're into Vines. Oh, you're into Vine compilations. I was on Vine before they were compilations, when they were actual Vines.
It's like the best party is always the one that for some reason you couldn't go to.
Well, for me, that was all parties.
I wasn't invited. The best party is always the one you aren't invited to. I always find it funny. This is a very British thing, but during the early 90s in England, dance music was massive. But as a result, there are these hangovers of people for whom dance music in the early 90s was the best thing that ever happened in their lives. And now if you go on hits from that era, classic dance music tracks like piano loops, just like do 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 do, that stuff, you go to the comment section, it's just full of middle-aged British people going like, this was the best time of my life. I'm a postman now, divorced twice, but I remember when I was listening to Frankie Knuckles in the hacienda, and it's just beautiful. I really love those comments. I think they're kind of fabulously interesting.
What will we be commenting when we're middle-aged? What will it be? Will it be like I'm trying to think what it'll be. It'd be me commenting on an Adam 22 vlog where Lil Pump smokes a blunt through some chick's toes. And I'll be like, oh, I remember the good old days of watching Lil Pump get a blunt smoked through his toes. Oh, it just takes me back to being 27, being a YouTuber.
I think nostalgia. It's always hard to think always hard to know what you'll be nostalgic about, especially with culture, because you never know what will stand the test of time, what will rot and what shall remain.
We'll tell you what, why don't we play Hot or Rot?
Hot or Rot. So you take things that are happening now or around now, and then you project what are they still going to be around or fondly remembered in 15 years' time. I think 15 to 20 years.
Coronavirus. Hot or not?
Do you think people are going to be like, maybe. Depends how bad things get. We're already on a bit of a roll with 2021.
Well,
if you don't know, we've entered into a third lockdown here in the UK. So even if we wanted to leave this room, we couldn't.
It's a disaster. I like that the news continually describes it as the UK has been plunged into a lockdown. It's always a plunge, and it just makes me think of the UK being dunked into an ice cold bath against its will, of just sploosh. Ow! I've been plunged.
And really, I mean, the plunge suggests that it's immediate,
yes,
instead of it being what it really is, which is the UK has been slowly descending into lockdown due to governmental incompetence. Yeah, I fucking said it.
You know what? It's akin to, the proverbial frog in a pot of water that's been slowly turned up to boiling temperature. Which, is a great metaphor, but also an excellent Sunday afternoon activity, boiling frogs.
Boiling frogs, yeah.
Torturing them. They don't even notice. They're fine.
In this situation, of course, though, the British people are the frogs, and the boiling water is actually liquid shit. It's no good. Things aren't going well over here in old Blighty.
Oh, no, you can't say that, because now all the French viewers will be like, yeah, well, we were the frogs, and now you're taking our data. Now you are the frogs. Brexit. You have Brexited, now you are frogs.
Haha, they've been waiting this whole time.
For us to be the frogs. Listen, French people, don't get offended when you get called frogs. I like frogs. They're quite nice, cute. They jump high. Why be offended?
I'm not a big fan of frogs. They're a bit slimy.
Well, the slimy characters. The frogs.
Have you ever eaten frogs? Ever had frog's legs?
Frog's legs, yeah, I did. I once had a large plate of frog's legs at a restaurant in America. at the time, very delicious, quite stringy, bouncy meat.
Bouncy meat.
Delicious at the time. I was thinking, wow, frog legs are really for me. Next day, I had the worst farts in history ever. So it put me off so badly of like true swamp butt. Of swamp creature, dead swamp creature in swamp butt.
I really like the phrase swamp ass. I think it's really funny. It's such a good Americanism, but it's so accurate. Of just like a close cousin to swamp ass is something that I coined, which is the sweaty concert back. When you've been to like a concert or a club night, and then you just
concert back,
and you go to itch your back, and it's just like, oh, there's like a good layer of sweat before I can even like make it through to the skin to scratch.
It's funny because when you say concert, I now understand through context you're describing like a gig concert, whereas in my head, for some reason when you first said it, it made me think of like a concerto of like you're I don't know if that's even the word, but like of you at like some sort of like orchestral symphony, and you're just so into it that you're just sweating one out on your back.
Fucking this bark has really got me going.
This rise. Oh, my back. Yes, my back's so sweaty I literally slipped from my seat.
So we're going to have to ask you to leave or pay an additional £10 for a back a back rag on a stick, perhaps. They actually hand them out at the opera
on a stick
when people get too excited.
Ooh, nice. For the record, when I just slid down on my chair, when I got a bit too low, as I was coming back up, the velour on this tracksuit sort of tugged on the chair, and my bum came out for like a second. I don't think it was visible on camera, but just for the record, so we're all on everything. We're all open here. My bum was out briefly.
This is what you always worry about when you start a podcast. You just never know whether your podcasting partner will slip a bit of crack just to get the views going.
Slip a bit of crack.
Not that kind of crack. The crack smoking special will be on episode 10.
Oh no, I slid out of my chair so fast my crack fell out, and in the process of that, the crack I had in my crack also fell out of my crack.
Don't worry, everyone. I'm not going to take this crack. I merely sell it.
Nice. There's something noble about selling crack.
Elaborate.
I've always thought, I mean, as an enormous hip hop fan, you know, at least a notable part of general hip hop lore is the sort of drug dealer story.
Sure.
And there's something, what's the word? Not mystical, but like, what's the word? Like when you can conjure something out of nothing. And there's a certain financial alchemy to being able to whip crack into like lots of money.
I see what you mean. I think kind of what you're specifically referring to is the fact that for those of people who are unfamiliar with crack production, you start with your base cocaine and you actually transform it into the lower quality but higher quantity crack to distribute among your customers
via the process of whipping, I believe.
I see. Okay, so yeah, there's something in that process alone. There's something sort of like quite entrepreneurial.
Absolutely, but
I respect that aspect. The selling of the crack, less so.
Into your community is it's not so good. But like at the same time, when you sell crack, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, you just got to do it for the right reasons, I say. Yeah. And there are good reasons to sell crack. There are good reasons to do some crimes. I've never sold crack. Don't plan on selling crack. That's fine. But like
the tracksuit would suggest otherwise.
This is a tracksuit that suggests no. I've sold a lot of crack in the past,
but now I'm out. I'm out
of the game. Thing is, it was like I'm trying to think of like good examples. I think it was like the original Rick Ross, not the fake Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, who was like making millions selling crack, but then he like reinvested a lot of that money into like businesses and like his community and like the church and stuff, which I feel like, I don't know, it's just that super. It just makes you think of like the American gangster compilations, you know, the big come up, the drug dealer, but then you're like respected in your community. Like, I don't know, man. Drug dealers, you got to admire them in a way, but also drugs are bad. Crack's bad.
As criminals go, the drug dealer has some redeeming characteristics compared to, say, the flasher or the serial killer.
Absolutely.
Which there is. I mean, to be fair to serial killers, there's a lot of work that goes in there that, like, I mean, if they're good at being a serial killer, there is like something to respect there in general. But if they're just sloppy, you know, murdering prostitutes somewhere in Norfolk or something, that's
basic.
That's more like animalistic, but these, you're I'm trying to think of serial killers who really planned their stuff out, who got rid of the bodies, got a lot of numbers.
Yeah, the metrics, the analytics.
Yeah.
The analytics of being a serial killer is what it's all about. Like how many
You rank?
How many are you packing away per month?
Exactly. Yeah. You've got to go for longevity as well. So a lot years in the game. If you've been killing for 3 years straight and haven't got caught, in a way, that's more impressive than sheer numbers.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, following a good serial killer is like following a good creator on YouTube, because it's sort of like, they drop bodies like videos. It's like, the upload schedule's not been so good, Ted.
And they're like YouTubers that generally you don't know the face of. They're just like, this Boston disemboweler. I wonder what he's like.
Face reveal at 10 bodies. Oh no, the feds have revealed my face. Like Dream getting doxxed. Dream. YouTube's was it Mr. Beast's YouTube Rewind, Dream face reveal, all that good stuff.
Well, I didn't even know who Dream was until about 2 weeks ago, and when I discovered he had 15 million subscribers, gained in
1 year.
Time of year, which is blows me out of the water.
Yeah.
No way of looking at that other than...
Let's jack this shit in and just start Minecrafting, man. Fuck it. There's just no point. There's no point. We're wasting our time when that is possible playing Minecraft for stupid kids.
I've not actually played Minecraft a great deal, but the times where I have played it, I go like, I can see how this could be your whole life, because it is just like, I don't know.
I'll never forget when you came round my house that time, way back when I lived in London, and I was like, you got to play Minecraft. It's actually quite good. And you were like, no, this is whack. This is garbage. And then you got into it and you played it really late into the night, one night, and you were like, I'm on to Minecraft now. I get it. And I don't think I ever saw you play again.
Yeah, no, I got all I needed out of it in that one sitting of just like obsession of just like, I'm going to build a really big, like a little house, little thing. And I did. I built a little thing. And then I was like, that has satisfied me. I'm done.
Just imagine, though, you could have been Dream had you stuck it out.
Yeah, well.
Had you stuck it out at Minecraft from, I don't know, 18 months ago.
The guy is, it's very impressive. It's burping today a lot.
Usually it's me burping and being made fun of for such. Look, I see you holding one in. That's great. It's like, when it's like the vomit in your mouth and then swallow it down. The burp in your mouth and swallow it back down is a classic as well.
Yeah. Occasionally you have that near one where you can just taste like the acid in the back of your throat. You're like, that was nearly a sick.
Yeah.
One day that'll happen. One day you'll be like, oh, it's just a burp, and you'll just a little bit of sick will just come out of your mouth in the middle of conversation, possibly during a job interview.
Yeah, one day.
Oh.
It's never come out, but I've definitely burped up a bit of sick.
Yeah.
And you're just like, let's put that back where it belongs. Put that away. So here we are in another lockdown. It's sad, not to get political, but
I've already called the government incompetent, which is vague, so I feel like I'll get away with that. We try not to be political on this podcast, or in general in life.
Politics is actually quite boring, honestly.
Yeah.
It is actually quite boring.
I'm just angry currently because I have literally been grounded by the government for the third time, and I didn't even do anything wrong.
It wasn't even me. It was the other boys that were going out meeting up. I wasn't even part of that group. I'm being a good boy. I'm being punished.
I've been staying at home, just sitting here jerking my little ding dong, and no one lets me out. And yes, that is continuing.
It is annoying. There really is no justice in the world, because essentially all the people that did the right thing are being punished as equal as all of the people that didn't do the right thing.
This is what I was a bit of a swotty, nerdy kid in school. Surprise, surprise. And whenever the whole class would get punished for the actions of a few, that to me was such a great injustice that it should have been taken to the fucking Hague. I was so pissed off as a kid. It's like, no, it's not my fault. I should be let go. And it's just like, dude, you're not doing yourself any favors with the rest of the group. You just got to suffer with them.
You know what, though? I've got to say, at the time, school feels so oppressive and wrong and just like, it just makes no sense. It's not fair. It's not right. But you got to remember that school is, in many ways, it's there to teach you the fuckery that awaits you in life. It's there to teach you, you're not going to be treated fairly. You're going to get dicked over. You're going to get punished for shit you didn't do. And you're going to have to interact with a bunch of people you hate.
Yeah.
That is life.
Some of the most important lessons in school are the various disappointments that you get from the other human beings that are around you. I think you learn.
Nice.
Yeah, you learn to deal with other human beings. That is one of the biggest things you learn in school, frankly.
Yeah, that's
cooperation
facts.
And, if you're really clever, manipulation. Find a way of getting people to do stuff for you.
I'm trying to think of pivotal moments in school that were really meaningful to me, and like my, excuse me, little burp, a little sick. Oh.
We both just had breakfast before this.
Wait, I've got a big one coming.
Oh, guys, get it straight in the mic. Performance anxiety. Anyway, moments in school that were pivotal.
I remember there was a time. I think it was early on. It was like year 2. No shit. No, I tell you what. No, I'll go for a different one. There was a time, much later time, when we went on a school trip to the Isle of Wight and went to the beach as part of that trip. Yeah. And essentially, I can't remember exactly how it went down, but a couple of at a certain point, regular disorganized play ended up forming into 2 separate group factions where each group was trying to dig the bigger hole.
Wow.
And I found myself as the foreman of one of the groups.
the
leader. And I remember being forced to give a rousing speech to my people. Wow. I don't know. I was sort of pressured into it. It was like, oh, well, since we have a leader, we need you to give us a rousing speech. And I think I just remembered to just getting up there and just being like, yep, work, guys. Come on, let's dig. Let's dig. Maybe I didn't say fucking, but I was just like, let's dig this hole. We can do it. I'll dig a bigger hole than those guys. And it just felt like a really great moment of like building these leadership skills. I do believe this did end with me being buried in the hole, but that is by
like any good revolution, exactly. Any good leader, you're like Ross Pierre being led to the guillotine. It's just like, I really wish I hadn't made this guillotine now.
You know what it was?
Ross Pierre.
I didn't realise that I was my own undoing of just like, yeah, everyone, we've built this hole. Now what should we do with it? Well, throw him in it, obviously.
How the mighty have fallen. The great foreman. I imagined you as like sort of like a 1800s foreman with like little waistcoat, little pocket watch, like time is money, smash those atoms, kids.
Absolutely.
I have a similar moment in primary school that I often think about, and I think this was like a pivotal moment in my life. Was about year 2, year 3 for Americans. That would be grade 3 or 4, I think. Anyway, and it was the moment where all the boys stopped playing chase or like make believe and started playing football exclusively every lunchtime. And there was me, dweeby little uncoordinated ordinary things, going like, what am I to do? I hate football. Okay, I don't hate football. I'm indifferent to it. It's probably more accurate. But I hate it due to the fact that it's been pushed on me by my country's culture constantly.
Agree.
And so it was just me and my little friend Lyle. We just, I suppose for the next 3 years of primary school, me and him just kept playing make-believe and being excluded.
I feel like those moments are pivotal. It's like those experiences taught you of like, no, I want to be a thinker. I want to be an imagineer, not a footballer, not a kicker of balls. I
would say I remained an outcast in school until I discovered that women existed, at which point I decided better buck up and learn how to interact with humans again.
At which point I realised there was a whole new group of people to cast me out.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be near the girls. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. Oh, and they don't like me either.
Yeah. It's just like, so that's why they're all playing football.
Yeah.
That's why it was a realisation 4 years too late.
It was the realisation of just like, football is the ranking system for girls. Now I'm not. Yeah. Now I'm not accepted by anyone.
Not even in the system.
No, not even.
Didn't even compete.
Yeah, it's fucked, man.
Yeah.
Oh, football. Why has everyone got to be good at football but me?
I get reminded of it every 4 years when the World Cup happens, and everyone, even people who hate football, decide that they like it for that period of time, and I'm just still sat there just going like, no.
You know what the World Cup's all about, right? It's that period of time where losers like us that weren't football boys can just pretend that we were and pretend that we always were, and just be like, yeah, fuck, come on England, come on, Lampu.
I think he might be a manager now.
Is he dead? I don't know any of the names.
Literally know nothing. To be fair, football, along with everything else, has been cancelled mostly for the last few years. Last year. God, it feels like a few years.
Yeah, it does.
But no, wait, there was like I probably shouldn't even talk on this because I don't even know what I'm on about, but I think someone won something. There was a premiership, wasn't there?
No, the Liverpool Machine Gunners won.
They won, didn't they?
They won
They haven't won for ages.
They won the Kickers' Cup.
Good.
They won the Golden Leg. Because the leg's the thing you use for the ball kicking. So they won the Golden Leg for best kicks of the year.
The thing I find most interesting about football is FIFA and the organization that runs like a lot of football tournaments, because they are super corrupt and full of really fascinating business characters like Seb Blatter.
Yeah.
They're fascinating. I mean, I'd like to know more about that.
Do you remember there was that incident where a comedian like got into a FIFA event and just threw a bunch of $1 bills at Seb Blatter because he was supposedly taking backhanders corruption type shit.
I didn't know. So that's fun.
Someone threw a bunch of money at him, which is quite a good stunt.
I just find corruption more interesting than competition where people try to put a ball in a net.
Talking of corruption and dodgy shit going on, where's Jack Ma? Where's Jack Ma? Have we? I don't know. Have we checked everywhere for Jack Ma?
Where's his weird little head?
Jack Ma? No Jack Ma.
For those of you who do not know, Jack Ma is the CEO of Alibaba, which is essentially Amazon for knockoff products in China. It's very successful. So successful, in fact, that the Chinese government have decided that Jack Ma shouldn't have all that power, and he's been missing for 2 months, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because I like Jack Ma. I find him a fascinating character as well. He is just...
What they do? What if they shut down Alibaba? Where else am I going to buy 100 handheld fans?
Where else are we going to buy a giant AirPod?
I'm going to buy a giant AirPod. Is that where you got the AirPod? Was it Alibaba?
I actually got it from Wish, but
Wish.
Wish is a similarly framed company, isn't it? I don't know. Is it from China, Wish?
I assume so. I'll tell you what, here's a hot take, because a lot of people have been asking me this. Travelor Ross, where did you get your Blood Gang bandana bedspread? Wish.com.
Ah, you got it from Wish.com as well.
Excuse me, there's that bit. Also from Wish.com.
Also, giant AirPod. If you were interested in hitting yourself over the head with an AirPod, you can get one of them from Wish.com. And it will take 3 weeks to be delivered to you. And that's why that video took me so long to make, because I had to wait. And also, I was procrastinating and it was Christmas.
I think the fact that you had that AirPod to be in the video punched it up a bunch. So I think that was good. Also, because I think we touched on the video in the last episode before you'd uploaded it, right? And we didn't really go into it, so we didn't speak any details. But you did an AirPods video. Amazing.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was fun. It was a bit deranged, like I said on the podcast.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it was pretty good.
Excellent.
Now I've got to make another one.
Well, exactly.
That's what happens. It's when you're on the train.
Ooh, what could the next video be about? Who knows? I'm not going to say because I actually know, but and also it could change because it's only been a few days.
It's highly possible that I'll change my mind in 2 days, which does happen to me fairly often. And
then no one will ever get to see that video on butt plugs that you were definitely planning.
The butt plug video that was sponsored by adamandeve.com. I got an email from adamandeve.com asking to do a sponsorship for their, I believe it was sex toys, and I was just like, well, I'm not gonna tank my video just to sell sex toys to people.
Penguin Zero did the Adam and Eve sex toy one, Christmas Day.
He's untouchable.
He is untouchable, and he's also just like, I don't know. He is more like the kind of guy that would stick a suction cup dildo on a window or whatever. That was the premise of the video. He had a bunch of
Hey guys, this suction cup dildo.
Penguin dildo.
Sucks nearly as hard as Dream's record in fucking, I don't know.
Tell you who's had a good couple of weeks on YouTube. Mr. Carl Jobst, the speedrunning YouTube lore legend.
Your favourite YouTuber.
I love Carl Jobst, man.
Yeah,
love Carl Jobst. I want to learn how to speedrun GoldenEye Damn on Agent, purely out of inspiration of seeing Carl Jobst.
We've brought speedrunning up a lot in these episodes, which is part way intentional. But I do feel like you're gearing up to attempt a GoldenEye speedrun.
Well, I did attempt... Just in privately, I did attempt to do facility, but I was just so bad. The tricks were just so hard to perform. The looking down when you walk. So if anyone doesn't know, to speedrunning on GoldenEye 007, there's a lot of different tricks. One of them is to just look at the floor for the entire run, because apparently it speeds up the game's frame rate because it hasn't got to render as much when you're just looking at the floor. Which essentially also renders the game like very unenjoyable, because to do speedrunning you just spend the whole fucking time looking at the floor, and then it's just like where the enemies are, so you look up and shoot them. So anyway, I tried to do one. It was an L. It wasn't so good, but no. I don't know. Just a little bit of me just thinks that like I could beat GoldenEye Damn in a minute probably.
I definitely couldn't. The thing is, like, I enjoy video games, but I've never been good at them. I don't actually have a talent for it. Other than Tetris, I'm really good at Tetris.
You're good at Halo. I've seen you smash Halo.
I'm decent at Halo. I'm decent, but it's nothing to write home about, really.
Dear Mum, I'm so good at Halo. I just had to write home and let you know.
Dear Mum, lockdown has not been good to me. Ross keeps talking about speedrunning. I don't even know what that is.
Oh. Oh. Oh, you liked my speedrunning chat.
Why are you writing your letter out loud? Saying all these mean things about me.
That's not a pen.
That's just a picture of my face that you're scribbling on.
That's my actual face.
Do you worry about cabin fever? Now that we're approaching at least a month of full lockdown.
I worry about dabbing fever. Hey, 2010. No?
2018.
2018. No, that was a
Surely.
bit later in the game, wasn't it? I'm really sorry. Shall we start this again? That was so bad. The podcast's dead now.
You got to dab again out of shame. Just do it again. Just do it in a shameful way.
Dab. Hit that dab 2017.
Hit that dab. That's a different kind of dab, I believe.
That is a different dab, yeah.
Yes.
The dab bar, I believe. The mythical dab bar.
Yes.
I'm told they exist. I've never seen one.
I've seen one on Venice Beach.
Really?
A dab bar.
A bar for the dabs.
Yeah.
Dibbity dab. And everyone just goes in there and goes, no, but really, I know what I'm here for.
Dabbing was big. It's weird. I find it so fascinating when these, like, planking is another one, where these, like...
Planking was hilarious.
Doing stuff with your body just goes viral. Flossing, of course, or the floss.
Flossing.
Is a similar one.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's seems to be mostly born from kids spreading it in video games, but it's just incredible that, like, a dance move can be a meme.
What if we tried to invent one?
I think many people have tried.
Many
Let's
failed.
not forget, Filthy Frank invented the Harlem Shake.
Yes.
Or certainly popularised it. I'm not sure if he came up with the concept, but...
That shows you what's possible. That just shows you what's possible, I feel. What could our dance be? You know, it's got to really capture the spirit of the times. Something that everyone would want to do. We're all stuck at home.
Well, if we're gonna, maybe we should just try and popularise holding your legs like this and rocking back and forth
that's
in
sick.
perpetual fear. Everyone do the rock! When am I going to get out of lockdown?
I can't take it anymore.
See ya. Everyone's doing it already.
Do it at home, people. You know, you're already
you
doing
can
it.
Join in.
We were all doing it before, and we're going to keep doing it this year. You know what's really been great, right? What day is it? Like about a week or a little more ago, everyone was just like, you know what? Fuck 2020. We're going into 2021 feeling good. 2021 is going to be our year. And only days into 2021, it's already gone to shit. We know it's not going to be our year, people. It's done. 2021 is already an L.
They cancelled school again.
Should I say it, or do you want to say it? Or should we say it at the same time?
Fuck school.
Fuck school, man. Fuck school. I've been saying fuck school since I was a ute, and now ain't shit changed. Still fuck school.
You know what's really fucked though? So for a lot of kids in the UK, they went back for a day, you know, got to swim around in that little disease petri dish and then head straight home to infect mum and dad. That is incompetent.
Yeah, here's what we're going to do, Boris Johnson. Here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to send all the kids back to school for one day so they can all meet up. And then the day after, no more school. No more school.
We just want to make sure, before we cancel school, that everyone's had a chance to, you know, get to know their friends
Sure, get to
and
see each other again
to know
once
their
more.
virus.
Just once. It won't do any harm, just once.
It's crazy.
My God. My God. Fuck school, though, for real.
Fuck school, fuck beer.
Fuck beer. Fuck beer.
I've got nothing else to add to that, but yeah, just like, fuck beer, man.
Man, you know what? I was always suspicious that beer wasn't any good, and I know we're probably going to get a lot of hate for this. So
beer is definitely more popular than us.
Beer's more popular than us. Yeah, but so's football. You know what it is? It's just like, for me, you know, it's like when I was growing up, I was always told, like, you'll get a taste for beer. You know, you'll enjoy beer.
You do get a taste.
You might
for
not
it.
like beer now. Yeah, but I feel like you get the taste for beer only after you've forced down 2 beers.
Yeah, but you know what? In beer's defense, there are many things in life that you only really start to enjoy once you've been forced to do them for a long period of time. You know, like working out, which is better for you than beer. Admittedly. But you've got the outfit for both in many ways. Like this outfit, you could be working out, become some like elite 1980s out, or you could be hanging with Nicole Bellic on the street corner drinking tinnies. So it's perfect.
I won't do the voice. The Nico voice. Nico.
Best GTA?
GTA 3.
GTA 3, number
GTA
1.
3.
Yeah.
Best GTA, no question. No question. Best GTA.
I gotta give it to GTA 4. I think it's my favourite.
Really, your favourite GTA?
I think it is my
wow.
favourite. Yeah, the vibe is probably better. Although I like the look of Vice City more.
Nice.
Yeah. I think.
Vice City is the most aesthetically pleasing GTA. I mean, what an incredible aesthetic that game has.
Yeah.
Because San Andreas, in many ways, is actually the best GTA.
Ah, shit. Here we go
Go
again.
again.
It's the midpoint of the podcast. See you. Hello.
We got a prop. We got a freaking prop,
This
people.
is my giant headphone.
It's big.
If you're just listening to this, I am holding a big AirPod.
Ears aren't that big.
But this is all about show and tell, and because when you turn it on, I didn't get to show people this in the episode, but I thought this was really funny, so let's just all listen.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
The Bluetooth device is
No.
connected successfully.
You know what? Okay, so what I find funny about that is it sounds like they don't even know what they're reading.
I don't know what's going on. It's so odd.
It's like the way we described it the other day is it's like what that is somebody has been given both a script and then a zap from a taser. Of just like, right, and now you're going to be recording voiceover for an AirPod. It's just like, oh, okay, Bluetooth connection is bad. The Bluetooth connection is disconnected.
It's bad. It's just very pained voice recording, and it's clearly
Volume down.
I like it. It's like, are you sure that voice recording was all right? Yeah, it's fine. Just move on. There was
we do another
no
take?
second attempt.
No, put it straight into the product. Ship it. We need to ship these AirPods.
That's good though, isn't it?
How many of those did they sell? What use is that?
Catch it.
I want to just the iconic head hit.
It just made a great noise.
That
I had
has
to
this
do
bit,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, meaty. We could get gigs as Foley artists in Hollywood when YouTube falls apart.
How much do you reckon a Foley artist makes? It's quite an expert position. I don't think many people want to do it.
It is. Doesn't the YouTube studio in LA have a Foley studio? I think I saw a tour. You could go there and get weird noises made. That'd be fire. We could. Oh no, we couldn't. If we got this podcast to 10k subs, we could go and record it at the YouTube space. Imagine that. Imagine we're there to record our sparkling water base. I bet they would provide the sparkling water. My God.
Do you reckon we could go like, yeah, we want to book the Foley thing, and just like, oh, do you want a Foley artist with you? No, we just want to play with it.
We just want to fuck around,
Yeah, we just for the podcast, we're just going to be like, and now a bracing wind, and I've just got those big piece of sheet metal, and I'm just like,
oh, that's such a good idea. It would be sick because the thing is, you could go and you'd be like, well, what content do you need it for? And it'd be like, well, the video's called "I fucked around with Foley." Fucked around with YouTube's free Foley because they're suckers.
Gimme. I was a Foley artist for a day.
That's good. That's not a bad idea.
I would just spend the whole time like chopping watermelons up.
Ooh, with samurai sword. Do you remember that big fat samurai sword guy that used to cut the big jugs of water in half?
Yeah, I love that guy.
What a legend. Whatever happened to him, man?
Don't know.
Did you ever make it as a real samurai?
Unlikely, I would say.
Didn't make it into samurai school.
Well, I think I put this a little bit too close to my face.
A little bit too close, a little bit too far. Who knows?
Ooh, I don't know.
It's up to you. It is your arm.
That exact noise is, I believe, you've watched The Simpsons too much when you're not even quoting phrases, you're quoting like sound effects, and that is Homer going past on the monorail going too fast.
That's really good. Homer on the monorail. I feel like it's going to be like, yeah, the viewer retention for this podcast just went off a cliff where they just started making noises. And for the next, what is it going to be, like 27 minutes? Nothing but funny Foley noises from us. The podcast has descended into chaos.
I think being a Foley artist in the 70s would have been very satisfying. You could have watched like slasher movie and been like, oh, that sound of the woman getting her head caved in was actually me smashing a pumpkin. Yeah.
I wonder, the thing is, what I wonder is it's just like, how do people work out that that's what the sound of smashing someone's head in is? Or does it not matter? It's just like, oh, we just do something that's similar and people buy it.
I think it's as simple as that, really. I think sound effect. I think there's probably more artistry in it than I'm giving it credit, but I think like for most people, people will go like, oh, that's a continuity error, or oh, that person's watch is different from the previous scene, but no one's like, that didn't really sound like what it sounds like to cave someone's head in. I know because I've done it in real.
I cave heads in all the time. That's just not realistic at all.
It wouldn't pop like that.
He wouldn't even be dead at that point. He'd still be screaming for his life as I continue to cave his head in.
Yeah, there's not many complaints about like foley artistry. I think it's generally, if you've got one that sounds about right, people will accept it.
I feel like that's true. People can't stand a continuity error. An on-screen continuity error, it gets on people's nerves. But a bit of Foley. You know what always bugs me is that it's that same classic Foley noise of a car door shutting that's in like GTA Vice City. They're like it's sort of like you hear the latch closing. It's just like doors don't close like that anymore. Every time I see a movie and like an actor shuts a door and it's got that 80s door shut sound, I'm just like, that's not how 2020 doors shut.
I feel the same way about whenever someone does like a sketch or a scene that's like a press conference and you're still hearing all the it's like, who in the press has still got a film camera? And it's just like you just hear like and the sounds of the bulbs going off,
the popping bulb.
Yeah, it's like someone's unscrewing another bulb and putting it back in. It's just like,
God,
dude, it's the 21st century.
Like they're gonna cut to the reverse of Boris Johnson giving his speech, and it's all a bunch of people taking pictures of those square cameras that they have to get under a sheet for.
Some guy's got a hat with the word press in the thing.
Imagine,
Mr. Prime Minister, I have a question for you that still speaking like with that His Girl Friday voice. What the press really wants to know is how dare you put this fucking lockdown in place?
What the press really want to know is imagine the press, and it says that a publication that they come from is just like fucking One American News Network press, One American News Network, and then on the other side, dunce.
One American News Network. I've watched a little bit of it for research purposes.
Bad?
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite bad.
I watched
ignorant.
Because I again, not to be political, but just objectively, like I just out of interest the other day was just like, what even is One American News? Like, what even is the news that they put across? And I just went on the website and I was just like, oh right, this isn't news. this is not a news website.
That's very weird.
This is a face. I don't know what it is. Some sort of social media bullshit.
To slightly divert from political opinions and just political personalities, I found something quite interesting the other day, yesterday rather, was Ben Shapiro has produced a film. So the Daily Wire, sadly not, the Daily Wire, of which he is the boss of or the face of, I can't remember.
Oh right,
yeah,
okay.
And they are now going into entertainment, so they're making movies for sort of like a more conservative audience, and they've just made this film that is best described as Die Hard in an active school shooter situation. And it's about a young woman who's quite good with her weapons and very in favour of her Second Amendment rights, which I am also in favour of.
Young woman.
Yeah,
cool.
Oh yeah, so they got a little edge, but
Nice.
It's literally her like gunning down a team of school shooters that have taken the school over, and it's supposed to be like really tone deaf and silly. I've actually forgotten what it's called, but it does look really funny. And
the
awful.
girl who shoots the baddies. That's probably what it's called.
Yeah, it's okay, everyone. She's maybe shooting kids in this movie, but don't worry because they're the baddies.
They were bad kids. So it's good they're dead. Yay, dead kid.
Yeah, I think it's. I just think it's tone deaf. He's on the internet already. Why would he be going into an old school medium like film? He should just keep making. He should just do unboxing videos.
Maybe there's money to be made though. Maybe the upside of him doing something like that, especially with like other stupid people's money being pinged at it.
That's true.
Like maybe it's worthwhile. I mean, I assume he's not central to the film. I hope he does a little cameo as one of the teachers, perhaps.
He gets his little head blown off. Then I would watch it.
Mr. Shapiro, what's the answer to this guy?
Like a tomato.
Mr. Shapiro, sir, why is your sister a milk truck?
Iconic.
Anyway.
She's an interesting figure, Abigail Shapiro.
Abigail, that's it.
Also known as Classic. I think it's Classically Abby on YouTube.
Oh, right.
As a conservative female influencer, which is I got admiration for it because
that's a new thing. Cool.
She's trying something, and
seen any of it.
That's a niche that has maybe not been mined as much. Although I think she's maybe not gaining the audience that she was hoping for.
Oh no!
And has instead gained an audience of Shapiro trolls who are making fun of her
buxom chest.
Her ample, large breasts. That is simply what's going on there.
Are you allowed? You're allowed to just acknowledge that, right? That without it being mean or misogynist.
Yeah, I think that's fine. She has big boobs. It's a fact, and that is
Her chest is voluminous.
largely responsible for her internet notoriety. That says something more about the internet than about her.
Yes.
But that is a fact. You can't dispute it.
So, so just so we're clear, the title of this episode is going to be Ben Shapiro's sister is a milk truck. Right?
Absolutely not.
Oh, you got my hopes up with the absolutely, and then you dash them with the not.
It's just we'll just have to censor it. It's like Ben Shapiro's sister is beautiful. She is a triumph.
Ben Shapiro's sister is a queen.
Stunning and brave.
You do got to be brave to get out there with the amount of hate that guy has around him. To get out there, especially when you know you're going to attract attention for other reasons.
Yes,
it's tough.
That's true. But you got to use. I'm sure she spent her whole life using them to her advantage, and I can imagine this won't be any different.
Hey, you could be a pioneering female commentator in the conservative news scene, but why not go the full hog and be the first pioneering conservative female OnlyFans girl, Ben Shapiro's sister? And then suddenly she's earning more than him, and he's really salty.
Yeah, that I would actually really like to see that turn in the story. That would be special.
That'd be a perfect ending.
It would actually, yeah.
Be a perfect ending. I don't know what his opinions are on the whole OnlyFans thing. I assume negative.
Highly negative.
Highly negative.
Unlike my own, which are neutral.
Yeah.
I'm like Switzerland in that way.
You know what, though? I do wonder. So as part of... I'm doing my video on all of the stories that happened in 2020 in hip-hop at the moment. I'm about halfway through. And in April, the craze of rappers starting OnlyFans sort of begun. So I speak about that.
Who started an OnlyFans?
Tiger.
Tiger started one.
Tiger is an OnlyFans
Did he get his little cub out?
That would have been illegal. Keep the cubs out of this. Get your hands off the cubs.
Oh, the Tiger show is Tiger. No.
The Tiger King.
Yeah,
Tiger King. No, yeah, you know what? The thing about Tiger that seems to be quite smart is that it's actually, I'm pretty sure it's an OnlyFans geared up for men.
Right.
Not gay men, but it's like, it's just him with like fucking naked chicks doing stuff around him, and he's just sort of like privy to it all.
Ooh.
I think I've not mad looked into it.
He is the agent through which they get to admire these like lovely women. I imagine multiple women as well. So that actually is, you know, he's beating other OnlyFans people who are mostly single agents, right? Whereas he's shipping some in.
I think there's loads of beating going on for sure. Oh no, but yeah, you know what? I actually have to double check that because I'm not entirely sure that I've got that right. So I haven't finished researching the Tiger aspect yet. But essentially, I think that's part of it. So there's Tiger, you know, a couple of hip hop adjacent women. I read an article that suggested Black China, who Tiger's mother of Tiger's child, previously connected to Rob Kardashian, was making $15 million a month from OnlyFans at one point.
Wow.
Which makes me think, I might have to get in on this action. I'll do it all for $15 million a month.
Only cans, baby.
Only cans. That's all we do. But yeah, and the other one was Casanova, the guy who has recently just got a big RICO charge. So yeah, I think his content's going to be changing a lot. What with that spell in jail, but yeah, he had an OnlyFans, more like, you know, shirt off for the ladies, because he's like a big buff ripped dude, Casanova, and his name is literally Casanova. So you can imagine. But anyway, yeah, all the rap guys taking over OnlyFans, that happened. And it definitely got me thinking that just like, it's just an ungodly amount of money that's available.
It's a fascinating... I've got to admit, I am more interested in the economics of OnlyFans than what's on there.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Yeah.
But do you know about the referral program?
I know a little about it. I feel like you've mentioned it before.
Yeah, I'm just fascinated that you can do that. That you can go, well, here's... So if you don't know...
Explain it,
yeah. If you are an established OnlyFans creator, in quotation marks... no, actually, I'm sure they do very good work. You can... And someone else wants to start their own OnlyFans, that you can refer them in some way that you will get like a little bit of a kickback for getting them on the platform. So...
Digital pimping, baby.
It's a bit like a pimping pyramid scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme, but it's got some characteristics of the pyramid.
It's like Herbalife.
Yeah.
For nudes.
Yes. Or lewds, which is a fun
Yeah.
new phrase that entered my vocabulary this year, or this last year.
Only the result of the iDubbbz fiasco. I'd never heard of lewds until then.
Yeah, which is just nudes for suckers.
Yeah, it just sounds to me just like lewds. Oh, you mean you scammed me?
Yeah.
Thinking I was getting nudes and I wasn't.
But
that's like lewds instead of the nudes that you thought you were getting. That's like, oh, you gave me a rock of baking soda instead of the crack that I'd ordered.
and do it back to the
for.
crack. Why do things always come back to the crack?
Return of the crack. Always.
Always like Irish people say crack as a thing, like the good times of just like spelled CRAIC.
Oh right.
I love
Irish.
Irish.
Good crack. That's good crack. That.
I love Irish slang. I love Irish accents.
Yeah, Irish drill is now coming up as well.
Oh,
so.
Really?
Irish drill music.
Where from? We talking Belfast? We talking Northern Ireland? Didn't even know.
I vaguely know. I think there's a few different from different areas. I'm struggling to piece together which, because there's three or four people that are really popping in Irish drill at the moment. But like I'm trying to piece together exactly where each of them is from, and I can't remember off the top of my head, so I don't want to butcher it. But there's a few Irish drill crews that are coming through, and you know what it is? It's when it comes to drill, it's like people are like, oh, all they talk about is just like shooting and stabbing, and it's like yes, but if we can hear that in a different accent. There's a lot of mileage to it. The Aussies.
I wonder what stabbing's like in Ireland. I wonder what stabbing like in Angola.
It sounds like a joke, but it's true. It's just like, so how do they stab people up in Australia? Well, we got our shanks and shivs, mate. Okay, that's interesting. What are they up to in Ireland?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would like to know. That does make me curious. It's a nice window into the criminal underworld.
There's gangsters everywhere, and fortunately now there are gangsters everywhere willing to make music about their crazy experiences, and that can only be a good thing because that takes them out the streets.
I would love to see/hear some Russian drill. That would be of interest to me. Some sort of Moscow Massive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I would be intrigued by that. The Russian underworld in general, brilliantly fascinating, and just like due to translation and also the nature of media in Russia, it is quite hard to get like accurate depictions of like the seedy underbelly of that country. So whenever someone comes out with a documentary or a book that really does apparently depict it, I'm always like, I'm there. So if you find some Russian drillers, you let me know. You send them straight to my DMs.
That's a great shout.
That goes for all of you too.
No, we need to make that happen. I'm trying to think. Yeah, gangs of Russia, gangs of Moscow. That could be coming this year. I'm going to do a bunch more gang stuff this year. I know some people don't like it, but I think it's good stuff and it's really fascinating. So there'll be more of that coming, people.
I think it's fascinating. Do you remember Ross Kemp on gangs?
I do very well.
Yeah, that was good.
I love Ross Kemp on gangs.
That was solid work.
Man,
that was his best. That was his finest hour, I'd say.
It was brilliant because it was like he was really good at sort of like being this big, hardened, bald, tough guy. If you don't know, Ross Kemp is an actor that was on a famous soap called EastEnders, but sort of playing a bit of a tough guy. But they eventually gave him his own show going into like, you know, putting on the bulletproof vest. He went to Afghanistan, to a war zone. He went into prisons. He's been to meet gangsters. And it's just like, he just plays the role of sort of like wannabe hard man, but ultimately kind of pathetic and crumbling at the first sign of adversity kind of dude. Like, I don't know, it's just so great. I want to be that guy, you know. I aspire to be that guy. Send me to a war zone, send me to Chirac, where you and then let people watch me crumble.
I mean, I would watch that. I would like to be there when it happens, preferably. You could say that like the Ross Kemp one, and I wouldn't say if it started it, but it certainly popularized the British documentary format of just going, oh, we need to make a documentary about this. Can we just get a famous person to go check it out?
Yeah.
And one of our mutual favorites in this genre is a show that I like to call David Beckham's Gap Year.
Yes.
Right. So if you don't know, there is, I actually don't even remember what the real name of the show is, but if you go on Netflix and type in David Beckham, you will get 2 of his programs. Are documentaries, one of which where he goes to the Brazilian rainforest. He's on his way to the Brazilian rainforest with a couple of his chums.
There's a couple of his best mates from school. And there's a couple of my best mates from school that I'm bringing with me.
That's how he sounds. And there's another one where he wants to play a football in every continent. I want to play a game of football in every continent in the world. And it's
for some reason.
Because while David Beckham is obviously a very good footballer and a very good celebrity and I would argue charming man, love him. He isn't the most articulate man. So when he's going on these little travel logs, he just describes everything as an amazing experience, and it's so funny to watch. Going to Brazil was an amazing experience. I wanted to go where I wouldn't be recognised and my celebrity wouldn't matter. So that's why I've gone to the country where football is a literal religion, and I'll be worshipped as the god wherever I go. It's so funny.
It's so funny. It's such a big aspect of the show of him like trying to escape his celebrity status, but being too stupid to realise that he is literally going into football strongholds where they're most likely to like him.
Yeah, it's so good. Honestly, it cracks me up.
And like you say, fucking him being seemingly just impressed by the most mundane things, because he's just mind blown by everything.
I like, there was, whenever he would get off a plane in the other episodes, well, there would always be this like procession, just like, yeah, David Beckham's here, David Beckham's in the pool, and it's just like, he's like, yeah, it reminds me of better days when I would constantly be worshipped as a god during all my tours of the football, and it's just like, you can see he's still kind of reliving that time.
Yeah. And he's still being worshipped. It's just like, it goes everywhere, and they're just, David Beckham. He's in the most, it's like, he's like, I was so glad that I went to a remote village in the middle of nowhere so that nobody would recognise me. And then it's literally within like 5 minutes, just like someone is coming into the little
with
shack.
a David Beckham shirt, Beckham on his back. I can't believe this.
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe that one of my biggest fans was here out in the wilds of Brazil. In the next episode, I'll go to Baghdad.
And
play football with a severed head.
I couldn't believe it. I finally found the place where they didn't know where I was. Unfortunately, that led them to kidnap me and put a bag over my head, trading me for a ransom.
It was an amazing experience.
Fortunately, they didn't know who I was, but they did know that I was definitely a high-value international target.
This is a testament to David Beckham's charm, though. As someone who has a lifelong disdain of football, I still like him. I still love David Beckham, and I watched whole documentaries about him just gallivanting across the globe and playing a game I don't like, and I'm still like, yes, David Beckham, the power of football. It brings people together.
You know where his special powers are held? In his hair.
He does have special hair powers. He was a master of the haircut, of just like coming out and just going like, I'm bald now, and then every 16-year-old boy in the country would be like, I'm bald now too.
Yeah.
There's never been, in my lifetime, there's not been a sports figure like him, in that he was both really good at the game he played and also was really good at being a celebrity, and was also low-key very handsome, which does help with his appeal.
It's ironic because he's got all of that in his favour, but he can barely spit out a sentence. He can barely string together a comprehensible sentence. I believe there's nothing funnier than when you see him in a show. I've definitely heard him say it before, of just like talking about when he was playing football, of just like, I'll just go out there, let my legs do the talking. It's just like, well, fucking better than letting your mouth do the talking.
David. He is a national treasure.
Absolutely. Protect David Beckham at all costs.
Absolutely, yeah. Golden balls.
Golden balls.
God protect golden balls.
Golden balls. Man, that's the thing. It's just like icons of British football, even if you're a guy like us that doesn't like football. David Beckham's star power, David Beckham's just pure raw charisma. It's just undeniable. It's just like, I feel like if I met David Beckham, I would feel like I'm meeting the king.
Like James Bond. He's in that level of just like his charm overwhelms you, despite it's like that's true of the James Bond films as well. Most of those films are rubbish, and yet the figure of James Bond, what he represents to British masculinity, is so important that we forgive all the octopuses and View to a Kills. Actually, you know what? View to a Kill. I like that one. It's decent, but
they've all got their charm, haven't they?
Yeah. Okay, I think that's actually reasonable. Yeah, they've all got something to offer.
Yeah. I think it's just like, I don't know, James Bond, it's just so intrinsically linked with English culture. We all want to be James Bond a bit. It's like, if you think about James Bond's there's been so many James Bond movies now that it's like, he's more of a YouTube creator than a movie, because there's just so much content, so much catalogue, you know?
That's true. So many books as well. He's such a giant IP thing.
Yeah, man, totally.
And Big Sean got taken from us in this last year.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Big Sean, not that one.
Not that Sean. Just take him.
I can't believe it, man. Yeah, Bond's gone.
Big Sean. Yeah, man, what a shame. What a shame. I mean, and as well, so they didn't announce who the next Bond's going to be yet, is it? It's Daniel Craig. They're still keeping that fucking movie from us.
Yeah.
The new James Bond. Nope, you're not allowed to see
We've
it,
released
peasants.
5 podcast episodes since the first episode where we complained about the fact that the James Bond film is being held from us.
We should make it ourselves, like that knob Mario Judah. We're just like, well, fuck you, Daniel Craig. We're going to make the movie for you. It's not going to be very good, but at least it's going to be in existence.
I'm just amazed with how up until now, how much Hollywood has gotten away with treating their audience with complete contempt.
They hate them. They hate their audience.
So no, you're not going to enjoy the film this way. You're going to enjoy it the expensive way we tell you to enjoy it. The way you've always enjoyed it this whole time, even though technology has radically changed the conversation.
If they had it their way, we'd still be paying like £100 to watch a black and white movie.
Yeah. Well, it's just these industries where they're all run by old guys who've been in the game for so long that they're so resistant to change that nothing interesting gets made.
I hope that we get to one day meet Jeffrey Katzenberg so we can just laugh in his face.
Yeah.
Old man thought he knew it. He thought he knew it all.
You quibbied all in your pants. It was rubbish.
Hey, Katzenberg, where's your quibby now? Ha! Loser. Idiot.
Billionaire. Dang.
I wonder how much of it he lost, though. I wonder if he lost enough to not be a billionaire anymore. And bear in mind, a lot of the Quibi money was other people's money, so...
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Once you're rich enough, you don't really have to risk losing your own money unless you've got real folly that you want to throw it into.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It's like you're trading you're trading on your reputation, because, like, at the time, he could get people to lend him $1 billion for a stupid idea. He ain't going to do that again.
Yeah, I think getting people to lend you get one, don't you? You get one folly.
It's like, oh, hey Jeff, yeah, new business idea. Not this time.
Last one didn't work out too hot.
What's that? Chocolate teapot? No thanks, Jeff. Quibi? What a dumb idea!
What a stupid name. I honestly think we'll look back at 2020 and we'll see it as the fall of Hollywood, and the moment where the Hollywood cultural supremacy ended was when Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, whatever her name is, got all those celebrities together to sing Imagine by John Lennon, and that was 2 weeks into the lockdown. It's like, oh, Imagine, guys, don't worry, we just gotta sing this song and we'll just get through this together. 1 year later.
Mate, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I remember I think it was Lady Gaga as well. She was like, what did she say? Something like, well, it just affects us all, doesn't it? Rich or poor, it doesn't matter. It's just like, yeah, you get to stick around in your mansion all day, hanging out with your various people whose job it is to come and like tickle your feet and put sweets in your mouth.
Yeah, isn't it just so sad that we're in this lockdown? You know, I've had to get my personal clown to come round and make me laugh at least 4 times this week.
I sometimes only laugh like 4 times.
It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. I can't imagine how bad it is for people that can only afford one weekly session with their clown.
I say he was a clown. I mean, he's got a really small car and he makes me laugh. It might just be my personal assistant.
He's actually a life coach that's really down on his luck, but it makes me laugh.
Well, I thought he was a clown because he had a load of people in his car, but it turned out that was his family and they were living there.
They were living in it. Oh, I'll tell you what, there's nothing to me more personally sort of tragic, but at the same time hilarious as the down on his luck man living in his car.
It is funny. It's uniquely American because a British person would not countenance living in a car because it's too fucking cold.
Totally. And American cars are so big, you could live in some of them.
Yeah, I have lived in a car in America at one point. Well, a van. That is a fact. I slept on the bottom of a van for 2 months, living it up off the Californian coast, and you know what? Some of the best days of my life. Living in a car, underrated.
Hey. Now, that's fair, but I would say there's a big difference between living in a car and living in a van.
Yeah, it is true.
Because a van's got the height.
Yes.
Van's got the height. You could stand up in a van, potentially.
It was a 1990 white Chevy van. Ooh. Definitely not built for sleeping in. I do remember one night sleeping on the bottom of the van, just like hearing those Californian waves, and I was like, oh, I'm feeling so good. And then, bam, fell straight into the footwell.
You know what? You've told me about your van life stories, right? But I haven't got too long left. Oh, you've told me about your van life stories, but in my head, I've always imagined it as being like an RV. Was it small, like more of a compact van?
Oh yeah, it was a van. We were sleeping on the floor of a van that should have been had produce in it or whatever.
And how did you sleep? You literally just slept on the floor like a flatbed. You just all slept on the flat back of this van.
Basically, yeah. We got some like softer stuff from like Goodwill and shit to keep us going, but that's not what we weren't there for comfort, man. We were there to take in the Californian coast, surf every day, and do some other stuff every day.
I can't imagine how bad that van must have stunk.
Oh, it was like it smelled like a severed foot that had been left in a gym sock. It was bad.
A severed foot. If someone sent me a body part in the mail, A foot would be one of the most egregious ones. You're just like, oh, foot. Send me a head. I'd be like, ooh, severed head.
Ooh,
who's this?
this is traumatic, but in an intriguing way.
Yeah, I might keep this.
Well, don't send us any severed heads or limbs or anything, or appendages in the mail, because we are approaching the end of the podcast. So I'm going to try and get a deep question in while we can. You have $1 million. You have to spend it in a day. What one item do you spend it on?
Personal back rub from Ben Shapiro's sister.
Excellent answer. I would buy a first ticket on Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rocket. It's rockets again. I've got rockets on the mind. What can I say?
Rocket Man.
Anyway, David Beckham's gap year.
Yeah.